This is a sad time here at ABC News. We've just lost a member of the family. Joel Siegel, Good Morning America's movie critic, after a 9-year battle with cancer, has died. This is a moment that Joel had prepared for. As Bill Ritter reports, he did not go quietly into that good night. Joel chose to gather his personal life lessons, to leave us a legacy for all of us, but especially for his young son.
Dylan, you know what the names of these flowers are? That one is Frank.
I spent a day with Joel Siegel and his son Dylan about 4 years ago, and you could feel it. You could feel the desperate urgency in the relationship between the nearly 60-year-old father and his 5-year-old son. Because Joel wasn't just an older dad. He was an older dad with cancer.
So where do you stand now? In the odds breakdown.
Where I stand now is I'm running out of body parts.
Joel was trying to convey in what most dads do in, say, 20 years, into 2 or 3 or, well, he didn't really know back then. And that's why he put it all in writing. His life, his beliefs, his family history, all for Dylan to read whenever he's ready.
We're talking to your dad about his book about you. Letters for Dylan. Did you see your picture on the cover?
Yeah. It's not letters, it's lessons.
Lessons, that's you're absolutely right. It's
Something like being set straight by a 5-year-old. But he was right. Joel's book was Lessons for Dylan.
Thank you.
And the publication party, a chance to cheer a gutsy cancer survivor.
Thank you all very much. I'm glad to be here. And to quote George Burns, I'm glad to be anywhere.
Humor is one of the great lessons for Dylan, and it's gotten Joel through some tough times. Another lesson, understanding Joel's own history, growing up poor in East LA and heading to the South as a student in the turbulent 60s. That's another lesson for Dylan, standing up for what's right.
I was a civil rights worker in 1965. I'm really proud of that. I knew Martin Luther King. Even more, he knew me. I wrote jokes for Bobby Kennedy.
Joel began his career as a writer, but soon found himself on television.
I left LA 5 years ago, and I'll tell you, LA is a great place to live if you're a Buick.
He hardly looked the part, but he stayed on the air for more than 25 years.
Last year, Hollywood said
Most of it as ABC's entertainment editor. Appreciating the career highs. That's another lesson for Dylan. And so is learning how to cope with the personal lows. Like the death in 1982 of Joel's wife, Jane, from brain cancer. She was only 31. In 1996, Joel found someone else he hoped he could grow old with. Ina Swansea, an artist. They married and began to plan a family, but that's when life once again trumped Joel Siegel's plans.
So she got pregnant and you got cancer. Parallel.
I had cancer surgery. I had a temporary colostomy. I was on chemotherapy and radiation. I was half dead.
By Christmas 1999, Joel was doing better and Dylan was thriving.
Breathe normally.
But 2 months later, a CAT scan showed Joel's cancer had spread to his left lung. The next year, they found cancer again in the right lung.
How scared were you? How scared are you?
I'm scared. I'm fine until the doctor calls and says, you know, it's time for another CAT scan. And then I just panic.
I wonder how you would have reacted to your cancer had you not had a son, had you not had Dylan.
I think I would be angry, and I think I would be sad, and I think the odds are I might be sick, and it might have got me. It's like what I did for Dylan. I lived.
I mean, maybe we got treasure. Stop.
Throughout his ordeal, we never heard Joel complain. He always had a smile and a warm word. He was and always will be an inspiration. And we want his son, Dylan, who's now 9 years old, to know that.